Hi there. I just want to introduce you to another example of SonicPi 3 controlling an external device on the Raspberry Pi. And in this case, I have got my SenseHat connected into the Pi here, as you can see. And I'm going to actually be using it via the a terminal, which is up here. And the program I'm going to run is called SenseTest. And it's based on the previous examples which I've used before. It needs two pieces of information because I'm going to use it remotely. The IP address of the Pi, which is 192.168.1.2.3.4, and the IP address of my Mac here, which is 192.168.1.1.2.8, upon which SonicPi is running. Now, when I start the program, it's actually going to run like this. And if we now start using the joystick on the SenseHat here, you can see that we've got the ability to move a single LED around here. So we're controlling the joystick, controlling the LED here by means of the joystick. The question is, how can we link it into SonicPi? On the right-hand side, I've got a little program here. It's not very long, and it's got two parts to it. The first part here is going to receive information from the XY coordinates of the joystick once I start the program running here. The second part, I think we'll just comment out for the moment, and let's concentrate on that. So I'm just going to do that and comment that out. Here we go. And then we'll run the program here. And what's going to happen is that when I actually run the move the joystick here, you'll see that every time I move it, it plays a note, the picture of which is derived from whereabouts the LED is, in other words, from the XY coordinates. And you can see on the screen that these are being displayed as received by SonicPi. So that shows that we can use the SenseHat to control SonicPi. We can send information from the joystick to it. And the question is, what about the other direction? Well, that's where the second of these two live loops, which I'm now going to uncomment, comes into play. And you can see that this live loop is going to go round here, and it's going to send either an OSC message LED control with two parameters, the first one being 0 and 1, or it's going to send one with the parameters being reversed. When it sends the first one, it's going to play a C major chord. When it sends the second one, it's going to play a C minor chord. And it's simply going to go round and round that loop doing that. And in the process, it's going to control what's happening here. The first one is going to be set up to make all of the LEDs go red. And the second one is going to be set up to make all of the LEDs go green. And the third one, when both of the parameters are set to 0, is going to blank all the LEDs on the screen. So these two will interact together quite happily. Let's start it running. Here you can see the red and the green turned on, and to prove that it's coming from SonicPi, what I'm going to do is to alter the timing between these two. Let's reduce that to 0.5 and rerun the program. You can see that it gets a bit faster. I'm going to slow it down again so that we can actually see the, we can still get the LED control, the positional control happening from the joystick. Now this is still a fairly embryonic program. I've not used the SenseHat a great deal, and I just got the example for driving the LED around here out of the API details for Python, and there are one or two other problems I've still got to deal with, but one of which is that if we look at the first one, let me just stop that running so you can hear what I'm saying. If we look at this first loop, you'll notice that I've got these statements tick and if look percent equals 0 in there. And that's because when you get an event from the joystick here, it actually gives two events when you move, when you push, pushing and releasing. And I don't want two notes, so I'm simply getting it every time it goes round this loop here, this live loop. tick is going to increase by 1. Look looks at the current value of tick, and %2 means work out the remainder when you divide it by 2. So the remainder is only going to be 0 the first time round the loop, not the second time, yes the third time, 0 the fourth time, which basically means that of these two events it's only going to process 1. A bit of a kludgy way of doing it. It's probably better done at the other end on the Python program which is interfacing with this, and hopefully I'll be able to publish something sometime soon, but as I say, I'm not very into driving the SenseHat. There's one or two problems. One of which you are probably aware of is that the joystick actually produces left, right, up and down signals, and at the moment I'm not trapping them, so when I run this on the Raspberry Pi, I'm getting streams of cursor lefts and cursor rights and things on the screen. The problem is that it can actually be a bit harmful, because you might get a cursor up and then the terminal is bringing up the pass command, and if you push the button here it might execute that, which you don't want. At any rate, it shows that there is going to be mileage in driving the SenseHat from SonicPi and driving SonicPi from the SenseHat. So let's just leave this running again so you can see it a bit more, and we'll just see, let's go a bit bananas on the speed and run it again. Make these notes a bit shorter probably to account for that. 0.1 and 0.1. Right, now we can make it a bit faster. And in fact, we're having problems from the camera refreshing. You can hear that that's going a bit faster there. So lots of fun to be had, and I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll just stop SonicPi and then we can stop the video as well.